I think that's like a very clear way to identify it. Like it's, you know, like exactly on paper, breath support is the being able to take in the amount of air that you need for any given phrase, right? Like it's the ability. The control is how you use it. It's the function. Engaging at the vocal fold, maybe not engaging, but at the vocal fold level, actually getting the amount of air that you need out. So the ability to take in a really big breath, that's support, or just the right amount of air, that's support. Using that is a different story, because you can have really strong support and be able to, and then go, where there is a fire, there's gonna be a flame. Right, like let it all, this mic is over me right now.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. Singing with support. What the heck does that even mean? Well, I am joined by Coach Juliana, Coach Bree, and Coach Emily from our team to dissect what does singing with support mean, because oh my God, can it be confusing? And everybody has a different definition for it, and everybody is confused on it about it. I was confused for the longest time. And so let's maybe start with, what is it not?
Not singing from your diaphragm.
No, it is not. So who wants to explain why singing from your diaphragm is not a thing? All right, go Coach Bree.
Okay, so the diaphragm is an involuntary muscle.
What is it?
An involuntary muscle.
Thank you.
So welcome, Juliana. You can't control it. Like, your heart keeps beating, it's the same thing for your diaphragm. You keep breathing in your sleep, you keep breathing. If you pass out because you didn't eat enough or drink enough water, eat and drink enough water, please. But you'll keep breathing.
But you will keep breathing.
But you will keep breathing.
Yes.
It's a little sheet muscle right here underneath your lungs. It separates your thoracic cavity from your abdominal cavity, okay? And it sits like this. And when it contracts on your inhalation. And when it does that, it pulls the bottom of your lungs down and it creates a negative pressure. So essentially like a vacuum that sucks all the air in. So that's what's happening, at the anatomical level, when you're breathing in.
That is so weird to think about. When you're breathing in, you're not breathing in, you're sucking air in. Yeah. It's crazy to think about that.
Yeah. So if the diaphragm is involved in inhalation and it's an involuntary muscle, it has nothing to do with exhalation, which we haven't said yet, but is support.
And there she is.
That's where
there she goes.
From. Yes. So your diaphragm is contracting, it's active, it's working when you're breathing in, and it is relaxed when you're breathing out.
Completely relaxed. Just like you have biceps and triceps, right?
Yes.
What did you say they are? You know the word.
Antagonistic pair, yeah.
Right? Muscles can only contract in one direction. So you have your bicep that does this and your tricep that does this.
Yes.
My bicep was not involved in extending my arm. Your diaphragm is not involved in pushing air out of your lungs.
And when do we sing? Believe it or not, we sing on our exhalation, not our inhalation. Except sometimes.
You know who you are.
Emily was talking the story earlier. How she was working with somebody.
Yeah, I had a student I've been working with for years, and and she basically was like, I've been inhaling when I sing, and I was like, huh? What?
Yes.
What?
That is so hard.
Yes, which is hard work. Yeah, but you're killing it anyway. Well, and she's a very advanced student too. So it would just be these little moments where I'm like, what is going on? Just breathing in.
Okay. Well,
I was stumped.
yes, the voice is a wind instrument, meaning without air, there is no sound, but preferably it's going out,
It's
not coming in.
through your
Like
flute.
with whistling, you can whistle on your exhalation a lot easier than on your inhalation, but you can with singing. Please just stick to the exhalation, not the inhalation.
The voice is not a harmonica.
No, it's not. It's a harmonica. So the diaphragm is working on our inhalation, not our exhalation, which makes it physically impossible to sing or support from your diaphragm. Okay, so we can strike that out of our vocabulary. Sing from your diaphragm.
Busted.
Yes. Super busted. So it is not singing from your diaphragm. What else is singing with support not?
Squeezing it in.
Squeezing the abs.
Squeezing the abs and letting the air out because you're not really. I had to exhale after I squeezed.
Exactly.
I couldn't exhale while I was.
Because of why? The Valsalva maneuver.
The what?
The Valsalva maneuver. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, when you go to the bathroom or you're lifting something really heavy.
You know, when you go,
Exactly. That. Right? Like that's what happens when you lift something heavy. You need to build up this internal pressure to perform a strenuous task. Like going to the bathroom. Or just lifting something really heavy, right? And so when we do that, your abs are somehow connected to your vocal folds. I don't really know the science behind it.
Yeah, we're building up subglottal pressure. So it's so the glottis is the space between the vocal folds. So subglottal means when they're closed tight, and we're building up air pressure.
The pressure below it.
Yeah. Below.
Yes.
Can I share a fun fact about
I would love for you
the
to.
glottis? It's the only thing that has an anatomical name in the body that's not a physical structure.
Yes. It's like
It's
in
a space.
between
It's a
space.
space. Yeah, it's a space.
Yes.
A cavity.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There you go.
Fun fact. Okay. There you go. So that's why you just had to do that. When you were squeezing your abs, you let all of your air come out after the fact, because when you're squeezing your abs really tightly, your vocal folds are also squeezing together really tightly. And when they're squeezing together really tightly, the air can come through. So if you're squeezing your abs like crazy, good luck trying to sing. There's no air going to be there to support you.
Yeah.
But have you guys seen the video of Pink laying on the floor and somebody standing on her abs and she's singing? Insert here.
Coach Drea Weber. Okay, tighten up your stomach. Okay, ready? Be nice. Now sing.
Where there is desire, there
Come
is
on.
gonna be a flame.
Come
Where
on.
there is a flame, someone's bound to get burned. Just because it burns doesn't mean you're gonna die. You gotta get off.
It's a crazy. She's just like belting her face off.
And that brings up a great point. When we're talking about support, we're talking about breathing in. You're breathing in is not exclusively like a lower body activity. I feel like that's another myth we can bust, that this is the best and only breath. That's the only way to get a full breath.
Pushing out your stomach.
That breathing up here is bad for you. Girl, no. Girl, no. There are 4 main methods of breathing, but the way that I like to explain them to students is we have our clavicular here, we have our back, we think of our growing wings, we think of growing our angel wings out, expanding from the back.
So cute. The fly little angel.
And then we have the abdominal breath, right? We're talking about inhalation, and then the balanced appoggio breath. Right? So I work with a lot of dancers who have cores that are just constantly like squeezed just all the time. Their resting state is the end of my plank, you know?
Can relate.
Having them take a low breath is just not ideal. Also, if you're aiming to be in the ensemble of a musical where you are dancing your face off, like you need your abs to be contracted in order to do that. And you want your rib cage a little closed. So you need to find a creative way, a place to to inhale, a place in your body to inhale. So I'll often direct dancers to breathe into their angel wings, because that upper back, we're using that thoracic breath. We're like expanding our rib cage, but in a more fun, cute way. Yeah. So with that pink video, I would go to say that she's not taking in a real, I mean, maybe she is, I'm not in her body, but that she's not taking in a really low, deep breath. Also, that low, deep breath is so not what she's doing. Because if she's taking in a low, deep breath, it's going to pull your larynx down, and she's belting high. And she's belting high, which means we need a flexible to high larynx, to higher larynx. So she's probably breathing in somewhere else. I want to try it so bad.
I know, we should later. I feel like that would be cool.
Let me take off my shoes. Who wants to sit down?
I think it's so interesting because there's another visual cue, another video of Miley Cyrus singing Angels Like You in a gym, and you can see her abs just like going like super square and like crunchy, and it's so cool. But you can't really see the rest of her body, like what's happening in her like back and like on her sides. Like engaging is not the same as squeezing, and like you can't really know until you feel it in your body. So like learning how with us. We can help you get there.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about like engaging versus squeezing, but we haven't talked about what muscles we're using and engaging when we're talking about like breath flow or breath support or breath control yet.
Yeah, then we even opened the door to control.
Oh my God. Okay, where do we go?
But yeah, like, we want to talk about like the muscles that
like
are
what
involved.
muscles?
And, like,
Do it.
How? Okay. So we talked about inhalation, exhalation. It's important to realize that the lungs are not a muscle; they're an organ. And I like to tell people to think of them as sponges, because they're there to like take in the air, to squeeze, to let the air like flow out of it. But the lungs themselves are not squeezing the air out of your body. Muscles, either in your chest, like the muscles between your ribs, or your abdominals, are squeezing in and essentially pushing other organs up against the lungs to physically like squeeze air out of them like a balloon, right? So yeah.
That's 100%. And that opens up, that really does open the conversation to control. Do we want to get into the breath control conversation?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So breath support versus control. Like what even is, what's
The
breath
difference?
Yeah. What is,
Aren't they the same?
They're no. Don't you start with me.
No.
No. Well, like how/do you identify a difference? We'll say like as a singer, when you're talking about breathing, I very clearly have a difference in my head of like support versus control, but I want to hear from you guys first.
Because I feel like in very modern times, at least since I started singing, I've thought they were the same. Like I thought like you're supporting and controlling at the same time. But no, supporting is part of the inhalation and controlling is part of the exhalation. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would.
Is that correct, teacher?
Yes. Lady with a master's degree. Tell us how it's done.
I think that's like a very clear way to identify it. Like like exactly on paper, breath support is the being able to take in the amount of air that you need for any given phrase, right? Like it's the ability. The control is how you use it. It's the function. Engaging at the vocal fold, maybe not engaging, but at the vocal fold level, actually getting the amount of air that you need out. So the ability to take in a really big breath, that's support, or just the right amount of air, that's support.
Yeah.
Using that is a different story, because you can have really strong support and be able to, and then go, where there is a fire, there's gonna be a flame. Right, like let it all. This mic is over me right now.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I historically like always thought that breath support and control, I didn't think they were the same. Like I understood them to mean like slightly different things, but I definitely like viewed both of them as relating to exhalation. Of, like,
same.
Breath
Very
support
much so.
is like how much I am pushing air through the vocal tract, and control is how much I'm using in my vocal tone.
And it really could be that as well. When we get into the semantics of it all, like it really could be that as well.
No, I like
but
understanding it, like how you're explaining those two.
like the
that makes a
ability
lot
and
of
the actual
sense.
usage.
For me, it changed throughout my teaching years. At first I was like, all right, support is squeezing your abs. Sorry, I'm so sorry to anybody I've said that. I'm so sorry. I have learned a lot. And control is what's happening at the vocal fold level, but also both like the exhalation, not the inhalation. And then I was like, alrighty, squeezing your abs is no bueno. Let's not do that. Okay, cool. And so for me, support and control became the same thing. Because I removed the squeezing, right? Yeah. But then I was doing a session with both you, Kate, and you, Bree, and a week apart.
I'm
oh my God.
I thought Emily. I'm hello. I thought you were putting a comma after Kate.
No.
You?
I'm so sorry.
Kate.
No, but I think it was with you, or was it with Kate?
Yeah, it was with me.
No. So I was doing a session with both you, Emily, and you, Bree, and a week apart. And both of you told me, like for that top note there, engage your lower abs just a little bit, and it's going to get it easy. It's easier to get the note out. And that was the first time after years of like, just relax your abs, just relax your abs, just relax your abs. I was like, oh, okay. Like it's okay to engage your abs, but there's a difference between engagement and squeezing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I would love for us to feel something for a second.
Yes. Let's feel.
All right. Let's feel.
Dead inside.
So it's very simple. We're just going to take in a breath, a big breath, and just exhale. And you're welcome to close. You're invited to close your eyes. All of you as well are invited to close your eyes. And I want you to feel the series of events that occurs in your body as you breathe out. Okay. So we'll just breathe in. Just go ahead and breathe in, and then just go ahead and breathe it all out till you're totally out of air. And you have nothing left. And even when you think you have nothing left, going.
Oh, oops, shit. I'm sorry. I started breathing in again.
Okay, and then you can stop if you're out. Wow. So what did you notice?
I had to squeeze my abs, not squeeze my abs, but like pull them in to really push the air out, like at the tail end. You know?
Yeah.
Not at first, but just at the tail end to really get the last pieces out.
Yeah, like you feel like the expansion and then the complete retraction of every muscle to like get rid of.
Yeah. So like to get all of the air out of my lungs, first it was like a flow that I was like pulling my core in and up. And then as it was getting less and less, and I was like, okay, more and more has to go. Then my ribs started to come in, and then my shoulders started to drop, and then continued just like kind of
Yeah.
to get the last bit out.
Yeah, those are all like great observations. Exactly what I was going for. Which is that the lower ab thing, that's just how your body exhales. We're just being a little intentional with it. Like you said, it starts in your lower abs and it makes its way up, right? And then the diaphragm flaps up, not via us telling it to, but via the parachute.
All of the insides that you're pushing up against the bottom of the lungs.
Yeah, the lower abs.
The abs, right?
The abdominals.
Like, is literally like you're moving. Right. It's like organ soup.
Yeah.
Insides around.
Yeah.
But that's like literally what's happening.
Yeah. So it's like just follow what your body already knows how to. That's the singing tip. Your body already knows how to do it.
Yes.
But with breathing too, your body knows how to do it, and we can take that and run with it and be really intentional and maybe intentionally inhale more to exhale more. But using the lower abs like that, that's why I would say that's why the squeezing is not effective, because that's not how your body knows how to exhale.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I didn't really feel much engagement at all in my upper abs.
I usually don't like
just on this exhalation exercise that we just did. And pre-enlightened Laura would, when singing, squeeze the top abs, not the lower, right? So now both of you guys said engage low. I'm like, oh, okay. But yes, there's a difference between engaging and squeezing.
Yeah, which like if you're squeezing and too much is coming out, like it's gonna be like, where there is a right? Versus like just squeezing the right amount is like, I'm not gonna say that. If you're hearing the like engage the abs, but don't squeeze them.
What does that even
One
mean?
exercise that can be helpful in finding like the just the right balance is pulsing on an S. And like even when I just did that just now, the first one was like way too much engagement. But then as you go, you find the like, oh, and it's like your core is moving out a little bit each time in between it and engaging a little bit each time when you do it. And that's the type of like turbo boost that I was referring to when I was telling you like, yeah, just use your core like a little turbo boost, like running over a mushroom in Mario Kart, you know? Like,
I love that.
you just gonna get you right there.
You eat up those analogies.
Yes.
You're okay, gamer. All right.
Talking about analogies.
Left-handed creative brain over here.
Talking about analogies, one of my favorite analogies for singing with support comes from you, Brie. It's your air hockey table analogy. And we emailed our list about it, and everybody was like mind blown. We're like, oh my God, thank you, Coach Brie. That was fantastic. So can you fill us all in on what is the air hockey table analogy?
Okay, we're gonna take a trip to the arcade right now, in our minds. And we've all played air hockey.
Yes.
Like you've been to tables and
Exceptionally.
you go and it's just going like bing, 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 and the little guards come up and you still leave the table with bloody knuckles after you take a good round of it, you know?
We get into it a little too hard.
Everyone gets too competitive with air hockey.
Yes.
It's like it's how siblings air out their stuff. But have you guys ever been to an arcade and like tried to play an air hockey table that's either like broken or it's not plugged in or something?
It doesn't go anywhere.
And you can still hit the puck across the table, but it's just not going to go as far. Like,
you have to
it's
work
not
so
as
hard to
long,
get it
it's not
across
as
the
You have to
table.
hit it so, exactly. It's like it's scraping across the table. There's just a little bit too much friction. So in this scenario, I want you to imagine your voice and the sound that you're making as the puck on the table. And when the air hockey table is on and it's going bing, 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 and it's just like flying, it's doing that because it's not actually physically touching the surface of the table. It's floating on air that's being shot up through the little tiny holes in the tabletop, right?
Yes.
So if we're singing and the air hockey table is off, it's gonna feel like really tight and like heavy. And you can sing and still sound like you have like a warm enough tone if you're manipulating your vowels and everything and all this other stuff. Just okay. But what was the song? The Fallen song. Loving you, darling.
Yes, yeah.
So like I could sing that and be like, loving you, darling. Da, na, 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 na. And I'm singing and it's like, it's fine, right? But like, it's just a little bit flat, not in pitch, but just
It's timbre.
yes.
It loses ring.
Thank you. Yeah. So then I'm going to go and I'm going to turn the air hockey table on. And really what I mean by that is I'm moving that airflow through the body and through the vocal tract. And then I'll sing it as loving you, darling.
Yeah.
And it has the spin. It has the ring. The timbre.
Alive.
Yeah.
love
And so
it.
that is the air hockey table analogy. And I am so proud of it.
Phenomenal.
It is amazing.
Lovely.
It is a great analogy.
But I've loved using it in lessons. It's actually been one of the most helpful things that I've been able to bring to my students. Yeah.
Well, one word that you used was flow. And this is probably my biggest, it was the biggest thing for me in my personal journey with singing with support. And usually the big thing that I tell students as well. So this would be like my number one tip. Think of support as flow, right? Like whether you have support being your inhalation and control being your exhalation. Like I said, I usually kind of like push the two
it's
together.
often like according to the Google scholars of it all, right? Like it's two separate events.
Right.
But as a singer, as a teacher, it was a great thing to know because we want to give like clear direction.
Yeah.
But as a student, I mean, if it's I breathe in pink and I breathe out yellow, and that works for you, rock it.
Right.
Yeah. So I focus on just let it flow. Let the air flow out. Don't hold back on it. Because I'm a pusher. I'm a squeezer. And so I have too much vocal fold closure, usually. Too much squeeze, whatever. And And because of that, there's not enough air coming through. So I'm thinking like open the vocal folds, let the air flow out. Obviously without sounding breathy, because if you open the vocal folds too much, you sound breathy, right? Unless that's the goal, then that's a different story. But I usually just try and focus on just flow, just use your air. Let the sound sit on top of your air, right? Like the hug on top of the air. Yes. I love that. So that's like my big thing that I usually tell singers, and it seems to resonate with a lot of them out there. Yeah. Do you guys have like a singing, like a support tip?
You probably don't need more air for pop music than you do for speaking. Like right now, I'm still speaking, we're talking, and I can bring it up and I can bring it really high and I can just stay here and I still don't have to take in a breath, and then I can take it really low and really quiet and kind of breathy, and I still don't need a breath and now I have to breathe. Yes. Right? But I think that was a long time.
That was a long time.
Right? Like you are totally capable of doing that. So don't get caught up in the breathing of it all. You know, like maybe not the breathing of it all, but you are capable. Your lungs can take it. Your lungs can take it. I'll say that. Yeah. Don't worry about breathing too much. That's something that I see a lot as well. Of like, sometimes I love you, sometimes you make me blue.
Too much stuck here. That
oxygen doesn't have a chance to, right, like escape. So it turns to CO2 in your lungs, and that's when you get stuck with that really tight feeling where you just can't catch your breath, and you're here, and now you're getting tension, and you just need to exhale, let it out. So what I'll often do is just, if I see someone working with that, I just say, all right, exhale everything you got. Like kind of like where I was like, keep going, keep exhaling until you literally feel nothing, right? Or you feel like you cannot handle it anymore. And then sing a phrase. And you'll probably be able to do that. That's not how we're going to sing the whole song. That's not how we're going to artistically approach it. But sometimes you need to prove to yourself what you can do. And you need to alert your body, tell your nervous system, like, I don't need more air. I don't need more air. I'm okay. So that's my tip. You're probably breathing too much. After we talk about using air, you also may be breathing too much.
Yeah.
I love that. Like you only take as much air as you need.
That's a huge part of support. Taking in just the right amount of air.
Yeah. Not over breathing.
Yeah.
Juliana, do you have a tip?
Yes. I feel like, including myself, a lot of singers need a visual cue. So learning to understand how it feels when we're breathing, when we're holding, when we're exhaling, and looking at ourselves in a mirror, or if you're recording yourself, to see how it's actually functioning and not just like, oh yeah, I'm going to breathe and then I'm going to hold and then I'm going to engage. Like it's a lot of process mentally, but if you're watching it happen live, it helps so much to, absorb into your muscles, and then that muscle memory kicks in later, so you don't need to worry about it too much later. Yeah. You can just enjoy singing.
Just enjoy singing.
Just have fun.
It's so fun. Yay.
That's the point.
Yeah. What about you, Brie?
My biggest tip for singers is if you feel like you need to work on breath support and you know that's like a problem area, remove the song from it, remove the singing from it, and go and connect with your body and with your breath first. Because that's ultimately like where it starts, right? If we can connect to that breathing mechanism and just like get in your body and feel what it feels like to take in enough air to be able to support, and then practice controlling the exhalation, and controlling it in two ways, right? We're controlling it here with the rate of exhalation, like by how we're engaging our muscles, and like usually thinking of that as like the abdominals, and then also controlling here, like how much air is escaping in the tone of like, loving you, darling, loving you, darling, loving you, darling. And that's like, that's control here
At the vocal fold level.
At the vocal fold level.
Yeah. So can you walk us through what that would look like if we were struggling with that phrase, for example, in a song, and then like we're removing it, like we're removing the song from it, but then how do we translate that back into the song? It's like, how do we go from exercise to song?
Can I walk us through an exercise?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to do is just a breathing exercise, like literally not even related to the song at all. So,
okay.
Yeah, I just needed to take that deep breath.
Okay. We're doing it with you.
This is an exercise that you guys can all do on your own, and you listeners can do at home as well. All you need is a metronome. Today, I will be your metronome.
Oh, I love it.
Please note, I was not a percussion major, and so not perfect. Please don't be annoying about it. Okay. No, but I'll be the metronome. We're going to take a controlled inhale over 4 counts. Every time that we do this exercise, the inhale stays the same, 4 counts. And then we're going to progressively extend our exhalation on a hiss extending by 4 counts each time. So we're all singers. We'll start with 12. Sometimes I start my students with 8 counts. Sometimes we start with 12. It just really depends on the person. So do what feels right to you.
Okay.
But we'll start with 12. We're going to do exhale on 12 and then 16 and then 20 today.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of walk through where we go from there. But let's take a deep cleansing breath in and out and get started. Good. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4, and hiss. Going for 12 this time. Halfway. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Get the air out. Because we want to be.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for reminding me. One thing I didn't stipulate is that this exercise is really good about like for budgeting air and learning to practice budgeting, because we obviously don't want to run out of air before the end. But to your point, we also don't want to have a ton of air left over at the end. We want to be able to use all our breath.
Yeah, I could have kept going way longer, but the goal was not necessarily to go for as long as possible.
Yes,
right.
It was to
go
end at 0.
I also feel like it's a really great exercise for learning how much to breathe in for a given phrase. Because I don't need to breathe. I don't need to inhale the same amount for 20 counts. And
And are we breathing in through the mouth or through the nose?
Through the mouth.
Through the mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You'll get a deeper breath through the nose. Sorry, we started breathing and I was still going.
No, that's it. Interesting.
You will. Deeper might not be bigger, but it'll shoot right down.
One thing I also tell students about shooting the breath down is to breathe in through straw lips.
Yeah. It immediately engages for me.
Which also relaxes my larynx when I'm breathing in through the mouth.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes if I'm breathing in through my nose, I feel like
Are you sucking your tongue?
probably,
that?
yeah.
I just noticed that I did that.
That's crazy that you could even notice that.
I'm always aware of my tongue. My tongue goes crazy. Me and my tongue, that lore goes back.
Oh my gosh, you got history. Okay, should we try for 16?
Yes. So we want to end at 0 air.
End at 0 air, and however you're going to feel like you have the most control of your air. I usually tell students to breathe in through the mouth because it's the quickest breath access that we have when we're singing. And so I've worked with students that are like, I thought breathing through my nose was better for singing because I do this deep breathing with yoga. And I'm like, it's a great breathing technique and it's a great breathing practice. But if you do that when you're on stage and take a catch breath in through your nose, you're not going to be able to.
You're going to choke.
Yeah, I imagine. That'd be crazy. What if you're congested?
Oh, yeah. Screw
Tough. Okay, let's take a cleansing breath in. And let it all the way out. Good. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4, and hiss. 8, halfway. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 0.
We did it.
0, bro. I think my body probably would have wanted to stop at 15, but I was like, no, I can keep going. But
you have that extra push.
Yeah, but I was using more breath than I needed to make a sound.
Yeah.
But again, the goal was to end at 0, right?
Yeah. And that push, for me, came directly from those lower abs.
The lower.
Yes.
Yeah. And another way that you can control, especially in this exercise, is by managing your S sound, right?
Yes.
By changing your tongue placement. Sometimes I'll do this exercise and a student will run out of breath so fast. We'll do 8 counts and they'll be like, and they're like out of air by 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's reevaluate where our tongue is.
Yeah.
Because we can also like really block the air too much and be like,
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
and add too much. Right. Exactly. So, which also means like there is part of breath control that happens here.
Yeah,
in the
like,
mouth.
all up to the articulators. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
So you have your core, your
It's all happening.
your larynx, like
vocal folds, and your mouth. Wowzers.
And the pharynx is in there. We just know it.
You know,
It's like,
you know.
she's like, twang. Or maybe that's actually probably just me. Like, twang, please, twang.
Absolutely. Okay, let's do 20 and then we'll bridge this back to the song. But
Okay.
deep breath in. Release. Good. Breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4, and hiss. 10, halfway. 15, 16, home stretch, 17, 18, 19, 20.
I had to start pushing more air out again. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna run out. I'm like, no, I'm not. Okay, out.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep it steady through the
Really
entire
hard.
thing.
I do something similar, but I'm totally going to steal this from you.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do something similar that I
I
got.
stole it from my university, like, choral director. Yeah,
Love.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's how you go. You take
Gets
something
passed
that
down.
you learn and then you're like, oh, this is awesome. But yeah, I have do a similar exercise that I learned from my friend, Sam Isley, who's awesome, an awesome voice teacher. And I just don't do it with the metronome. I just time. That's what basically the only difference. And one thing that I communicate to my students a lot is instead of going, or even when you have this 20 second, if you want to do it for a long time, think about letting out less air for a longer period. So less for longer, stay there. And it's not quite adding the resistance, but it's just keeping the air in the lungs.
Yeah.
When you feel it rushing up and
Yeah.
just staying in that subglottal area, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of timing on an exhale, I went to a voice clinic recently because I had some like really bad laryngitis that was like ongoing for a long time, and didn't end up having like an injury or anything, thank God. But went to go get it checked, and the vocal therapist that was meeting with me asked me to exhale for as long as I could on an S. And I did for like 22 or 23 seconds or something. And she was like, impressive work. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then she asked me to exhale for as long as I could, pick any note I wanted on a Z. And we've done that as a challenge before in our Discord. But then I saw her doing something in the computer with it. And my Z was like 12 seconds. Okay. And then I saw her like typing and I was like, did you just make a ratio with the Z and the S? And she was like, never in all my years has anybody asked me that. I feel so validated.
Oh my God.
To her, because I'm going to do some voice therapy sessions with her later this summer. And I'm so excited about it. But she was like, yes, it can be a really great indicator if there's a really imbalance between your S and your Z, because the only difference between those two, they're formulated in exactly the same way. They're actually, and I'm going to get super nerdy for a second, called a consonant cognate. It means they're formed the same way, but one is voiceless, the S, and one is pitched. Yes, exactly. And so when you're exhaling, and if there's like a big difference, it can be a really good indicator of inefficient closure of the vocal folds.
That totally makes sense.
Which is exactly what was happening for me, right?
Yeah.
Like that's exactly why I went in. But I thought that was super interesting.
That is so awesome. I'm so
Math.
to everyone.
Isn't that insane?
Math is everywhere in music and it makes me sad. No. You're good at math.
Yeah.
I'm not. Wow.
So fun.
Yeah.
Isn't no, make sure. No,
It's cool to know.
It is very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's
I was
awesome.
like, oh my God, we've done that as a challenge with my, like, this vocal community that I'm part of. And I didn't know that we could, like, get actual, like, clinical data from it. That's insane.
It makes so much sense.
But yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
Anyways, that's our little nerding out moment for you. But I want to come back to this breathing exercise that we just did and ask you guys, what were you thinking about while you were doing this exercise?
Keeping the airflow steady as much as possible, but like without going like zzz, I mean, without the z sound, but like that, keeping it steady, but then also making sure that I'm budgeting it right. Yeah. Right. So I'm at 0. I don't have leftover, but I'm also not running out before.
Right.
So those were the 2 main things that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Like not dying.
Real.
I love it.
So real. I was actually, this time I was very focused on alignment. So not like perfect posture, but like, allowing my, in my inhale to expand in my rib cage and then just like staying expanded, thinking about how my body's going to do the exhalation for me.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I say a lot to my students, like, let the air do the work for you.
Yes.
And that was one of those moments.
Hockey table.
Let the air do the hockey. Yes. Let the hockey do the work.
Wow.
Yes. But yeah, like let it do the work for you. And that was a moment where I was like, oh, that thing I say makes sense because it's out of it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, I love that. Well, it's just like getting out of the song and getting into our bodies, right? And like focusing on that. So then one of the hardest things that I faced as a student of voice and also as a coach is bridging the gap from I connect with my voice or with my breath so well when it has nothing to do with the song. And how do I bring that into the song? So something I started doing with my students pretty recently, if we're struggling to make the correction when I'm prompting like, okay, engage a little bit more. I want to hear more airflow moving through the vocal tract, is we'll start with that exercise and then we'll go back to that song. So can you sing,
I keep on falling.
a little bit of it. And I'm going to demonstrate what I'm going to have my students do as our like step 1 of bringing this over.
Okay.
Let's try it. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never found someone way that I love you.
Okay.
That's the chorus.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really matter what part you sing, right?
No, it doesn't matter what part you sing at all. So what I'm doing there is I'm having them for the duration of each phrase where you're going to take a breath to push as much air as possible through on that shh, on that SH. The SH rather than the S because the SH is easier to like, it takes more air to make that sound.
Yeah.
Something we do a lot in voice teaching is overcorrecting. So we're going way too far extremes. This is the extreme. This is the most amount of air that you could be using here. This is the most extreme way that your body could be involved in this. So we do that first. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe every time without fail. It's awesome. And then we're going to go ahead and add pitch to it. So just like s and z are the same. SH can become zh. So we're gonna add that to it. Do you want to try it?
Let's do it. Yeah. Okay. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never found someone the way that I love you. Nice.
Did you get the tickle?
I totally inhaled some of my spit.
So what I heard you do was like, it was like super smooth, like your zh was smooth. It was not like zh, zh, like, making the different notes happen, but it was just like zh, like you were still singing the different notes, but it was smooth.
I love that you pointed that out. So yes, and I will give that explicit instructions to my students that
nice
too, is like leave the articulation out of it just for this moment because articulation is at the mouth level and it's not at the core level and it's not even at the vocal fold level, which is where like most of the disconnect is in terms of utilizing your breath control really well, right? Is there's disconnect here or there's disconnect here. So we leave the articulation out of it to go for as smooth and steady flow as possible because the goal is for that breath flow to stay consistent the entire time. That's not changing. And we're creating the articulation by interrupting that flow with pressures in the mouth that's creating the consonants. Like if you want to get really into the nitty gritty of it, right? But yeah, like, do you guys know the word laminar flow?
No. What?
Okay.
English second language here. I have an excuse.
Okay, yeah. Like some people have literally made art installations, I think, about it, but it's referring to like when water is flowing either over a waterfall or out of a faucet, and it's totally uninterrupted, and it's so consistent that it looks like it's frozen. It looks like it's not moving.
Like a picture instead of a video.
Yeah. It looks like a picture instead of a video because there's not like droplets spraying everywhere. It's just like... It's just like, it just is.
What's that called?
That laminar flow.
Laminar flow.
Laminar.
Yeah, thank you. That you need to do that a lot slower for my brain to catch up with that, but I got it.
Put it on screen.
We'll write it down.
But support and really engage, like really utilizing good breath control is starting with having that laminar flow of your breath.
Yeah.
That it should be consistent the whole time, and your articulation is done here.
In your mouth. Yeah. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so now we did it on the zh. We did the pitches. Is the next step to just put the lyrics back in? Very cool.
Yeah. And it's been like, ever since I've started doing that with students, it's made the biggest difference, like in terms of how much progress we're able to make on that front, and how much more quickly it's like able to stick, right? I think really because of how overcorrecting we're going with the shh. But even like when I was just doing that, the SH to the zh, my core was engaging differently when I had the phonation.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
We're all gonna steal that.
I'm totally stealing that.
Please do. It's like anyone can steal it. Like it's life changing. Seriously, try it, please.
Very cool. So
weird.
if you listening or watching, if you feel like you're not exhaling while you're singing and you would like to change that, because you should, it makes everything a lot easier. Do that exercise.
And the other thing I'll say is don't try it for like the whole song at a time. Like please.
my God.
Pass out lines. Like
we did the entire chorus. We probably could have done
Yeah.
just half of that.
and it would have been
Because it's the same thing twice anyways.
baby steps. You're
Yes.
not working baby chunks.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
Yes. I love it. I'm feeling good about it. This was like fascinating. I'm learning stuff. So
too.
this is amazing. Thank you guys for sharing your perspectives. And I hope for everybody watching or listening that this like helped you feel a little bit less confused about singing with support. And you know, you're like, all right, cool. I know what I need to do. A little bit of engagement, a little bit of the flow, a little bit of the zhuzh, and you're good to go.
What a rhyme that was.
Oh yeah. Look at me. I am a poet. If you want to work with us, we'd love to work with you.
Yeah,
You can
learn how to
book
breathe.
a session. You can book an intro session, which is with me personally. I'm sorry, I know you don't love me. You don't want to do a session with me, but it's fine. No, I'm kidding. But the intro session is with me. So, you know, book a session and then we'll see. All right, what's happening? What do we need to work on? And then I'll be able to place you with one of these beautiful ladies if you want to continue with lessons. But anyways, book a session. We'd love to help you. And other than that, make sure you tune in for the next one because we'll be talking about more breathing things and singing things in general. Alrighty, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.